And that's not used to the podcasting studios. Well, better podcasting studios you're used to, aren't you, mate? Being a bit of a podcaster and stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah. Caesars have never done one in my life.
I was just saying, Emily must be wasted, mate, in the marketing team. She should be in the sales team, shouldn't she? Getting you on here.
Get it in then if you think she can do it.
Well, you've managed to persuade him to come on here. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We've had a nightmare this morning. We've came in. I'm wearing a blue shirt. You're wearing a blue shirt.
All shot blue, mate, isn't it?
Bleed blue.
Aye.
Bleed blue. Let's have a bit of a chat about the market, mate, innit? That's what I thought we'd do.
We're not just talk about you first, Dan. No?
Like what?
Just about what a successful man you are. And,
Stop it, mate.
you know,
No,
multi-millionaire now, and
give up.
From a man who, when he first came out, was scared to put his air conditioner on in the car.
I still don't do it, mate. This is coming from
Steve Petrol.
This is coming from a man who's got a personal shopper, and it's not even called Laura Piana. He calls it LP.
I don't have
LP
shopping mothers. No one shops for me. No one shops for me.
But no, you haven't been on the podcast before, and you manage our biggest sales team, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It is the biggest.
Yeah.
So the areas that your team take care of are like downtown, Marina, Business Bay, Creek, DIFC.
Yeah, DIFC, Maidan, Shobe, that coming into the mix now as well.
What have you been seeing recently in terms of like what's happening in the market? We'll do like a brief overview in terms of like Q2 so far.
People keep saying to me, oh, is it slowing down at the minute? You know, that people are struggling in the market and things like that. I don't see any slowdown at all. We're still transacting same kind of figures.
Yeah.
Month on month. Anyway, between 50 to 70 sales on my team alone. And yeah, I think there's a slight shift in upgraded units.
Oh yeah, massively. Yeah.
And that type of market.
Let's talk about money. You've just walked into it there.
What do you mean?
Trying to put it on to me. Do you think people are flipping properties at the minute, Steve?
Not me, mate. But
so you're not downtown _DXB flipper.
No, let's swiftly move on from that. But I think the upgraded units on the market, I think people are getting a bit more savvy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Upgrades, like units that are selling at the moment, let's say primarily Marina, downtown. People are saying, oh, is there too many people flipping? Is there too many upgraded units on the market? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
If you go online now as a buyer and you're looking for something of really good, high quality, there's not many.
Well, this is something that's changed, hasn't it, over the last few years? Because when you and I were still on the floor, you never really, you never got, if you upgraded a unit, you were lucky if you're getting your money back, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. But people just didn't do it for that reason, Dan.
It didn't happen to this. They just didn't do it.
Because there was no money in it. You could upgrade your unit, you were going to lose it.
Yeah.
Lose your money on the sale.
So in your opinion, because you've obviously not been on before, so it'd be good to have a good fresh take, what do you think's changed for that to start being like, it's not just a trend, mate. People aren't doing it to make money a lot of the time. People are doing it because they want to live in them. So what do you think's changed over the last 3-4 years?
I think that's the age of Dubai. I think if you go to these prime areas, they're like 10, 15 years plus of age now. And they're all, they're from standard, from handover. They've come to a point where they're dated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't really get away with it anymore. People need something new. It needs freshened up. I think that's where the upgraded markets come into it in Dubai.
So like downtown, let's stick to downtown because that's obviously like the area that you used to do when you were an agent and you managed a team there. What sort of size difference are you talking for like a newly handed over apartment there versus one of the older ones where someone could potentially buy it, add a bit of value upgrading it?
Massively, mate, yeah. So let's say a newer tower, you're looking, let's say for the 2-bedroom can be roughly around 1,000, 1,100 square foot. The older towers, you'd be looking 1,400 square foot, 1,350 plus. So you're getting generally a bigger unit.
Yeah.
But it needs an upgrade. And then you've got a good apartment.
The thing as well, like we've seen the same thing with the villa communities as well. So we're going to like touch on off plan as well. Like last year, out of all the launches for units in the market, 86% of them were apartments, 14% of them were villas and townhouses. So what we're seeing a lot of with the villa communities at the minute is, I mean, look, even in the street where I live, there's countless houses getting renovated. That never happened. Like it didn't happen. And I think for me, it's like a lot of it's since 2020, Dubai's really took the initiative in terms of the golden visa scheme, things like that. You've got a family here, mate. Obviously, I'm raising a family here now as well. People's view in terms of how long they're going to be spending in Dubai is a lot longer, I think.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Totally, mate. Yeah.
So I think because people are putting down roots here and stuff like that, and there's an incentive in terms of golden visas, safety element of it, it's just a good place to live. People are like renovating these units, aren't they?
Yeah.
And what we're seeing is people are coming full circle in like downtown Marina. They're looking at probably the older buildings because they're getting more for the money in terms of space. It's the same with the villa communities as well. We're kind of seeing people come full circle. I went out with a couple of the communities there the other week with Mark, just having a look at some of the new ones coming up. Like Emar South and things. They're great communities in terms of like pools, parks and things like that. It's an Emar community as well, but the size of the villas that you're getting there compared to a Springs or an Al Reem, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's where you're getting this, Dan, isn't it? Where you're getting people upgrading the older units.
So there's definitely a market for it, we'd say, like,
oh, definitely, yeah,
at the minute.
definitely, and it's no signs of that needing to slow down. If you look at the rest of the world, it's a normal thing to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Properties get upgraded, refreshed, so on. We're just coming to that because Dubai essentially is that new, really.
Yeah.
We're now hitting that cycle.
What one thing that I've noticed, I don't know if you agree, is people are buying a lot faster here. So
Oh yeah, yeah. You mean as opposed to where people years ago, like when we first come out, people just would rent.
well, my case was packed, mate. I was potentially going home the next day every single day I came into work.
Yeah.
But I think people used to stay here for like what 3-4 years rental, then they might buy something. I mean, I'm seeing people buying straight away if they can. I don't know what's like within your team, but that's certainly something I'm seeing generally.
Definitely, yeah. That's right across all the apartments, everything. People are doing that. People are coming out to buying quicker. It's a different mindset, isn't it?
Yeah.
People are a bit more reassured in Dubai, I think. Whereas, like you said then, when we first came out, we all had a game plan. 3-4 years.
Yeah.
We're still here, 10 years plus.
Yeah.
Now people are coming out without that idea. They're coming out with, I'm going to move out there. I'm living out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
Do you think that's a lot of it? Do you think it's because like Dubai is like a popular place to be and stuff like that, or do you think it is because some of the schemes that the government's put in place, like Golden Visa Initiative and things like that? Do you think?
I think it's helped, but I think people are more knowledgeable about Dubai now
Yeah.
than they were a long time back. So it's just a better place to be, isn't it, to people now?
I think in terms of like what it offers, like you hear Mark on these podcasts all the time talking about like the places to go and things that you know better than what I do because you've got all the fancy restaurants on your speed dial and stuff, haven't you? But I think it is just a good place to live, isn't it? Like what with the people that are starting at Allsop, like new starters and things, obviously with your sales team you do get a lot of new starters. Do you see a change in the sorts of people that we're recruiting or why they're here or loaded question, that one.
Oh, do you see a change in it? No, not really. Not really, no. Just generally. That's a tough question, that answer.
Loaded, isn't it? Well, do you think Dubai was cool when you moved out? Because I don't really think it was talked about in the UK.
Before I moved here, yeah, I'd been here on holiday, I think 3 or 4 times.
So I'd never been.
Yeah. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'd never been. It was too much work.
You probably wouldn't pay for a flight, would you? Yeah, I'd been here, mate, 3 or 4 times on holiday. I knew how good it was. It was very underdeveloped then.
Yeah.
I loved the place. What did I love about it? It was just how well everything was done. The hotels, the restaurants, and it's now streets ahead of what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much more here now. So, yeah, I think it's a lot more attractive to people if that's what you're getting at, yeah.
In terms of like the lifestyle it offers
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, we had, there was 1 or 2 beach clubs, wasn't there? At first, it was a big deal. There was one. Now it's like,
There.
like tons now, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's so much more to do for people coming out, a better lifestyle.
This is a true story. This won't make you like this one. I'm not going to name names or anything because it's unfair, but somebody mentioned a club to me, right? I was like, I don't even, Club Blue apparently. Have you heard of it? Apparently it's a new place.
Is that
But-
now, yeah?
Apparently so, mate. I've heard about this club 2 weekends in a row, but a few weeks ago, somebody that I'm really good friends with, they weren't meant to go there. Have you seen the episode, The In-Betweeners, where they go to London to go to the nightclub? Can't get into the nightclub because you've got a pair of trainers on. Well, this fella's got a pair of Birkenstocks on. He's just grabbed up.
This has got to be one of the lads off my team.
He's just grabbed hold of someone and said, "Look, can I borrow your shoes to get into Club Blue?" And he's done a shoe swap to get into a club.
Oh my word! This is definitely someone off my team.
Point
And then names,
being though, there's countless places you can go to, and like Club Blue, never heard of it, man. Do you know what I mean?
Sons, mate,
Like
yeah.
restaurants, clubs, anything you want is on your doorstep. It's here. I do think a lot of it though is because of the incentive that the government's put in place is for like the incentive to own a property here. If you remember when you just go on visa, it was like 5 million worth of cash or something invested. Then it was 2 million cash invested. Then it was 1 million on a 2 million dirham purchase price. Now you can buy a mortgage property at 2 million. That's just incentivized people to buy here.
You only used to have the investor visa, wasn't it?
That was this, yeah.
750 plus, 2-year, renewable.
In terms of like when we were still on the floor, like if you had a long-term like plan, you couldn't do it here because you had to have a 2-year employment visa. There's no way of you potentially retiring out here. Like, you still have to have quite a bit of money to be able to retire here. But as long as you own a property and you've got means of income, you can stay here as long as you want now. So I think that's obviously fueled, in my opinion, the people renovating properties and things like that, and just the time horizon is just a lot longer, I think.
I agree, mate.
Off-plan side of things, mate, obviously 60% of the market last month was off-plan. Our off-plan department, it's worth noting as well, actually, I'm going to mention this now because I mentioned earlier, we had a record month last month in April as a business. Now, I know you see a lot of things online where it's like, oh, record month this, record month that. You do a little bit of digging, how long have these firms been around for? It's really easy to say, oh, yeah, year on year increased by 200% when you've been around for a year. But we're 17 and a bit years into it now. For us to have a record month, and we broke it twice so far in 2025, that shows you that the market is, like you correctly said, it's not slowing down anytime soon. But the off-plan market, again, another record month for Finton and our off-plan team. And there's just so many good launches coming up, isn't it, in terms of like quality residences. I drove through DIFC, which is an area you're familiar with, for the first time in ages. How many projects are going up there now?
No, it's needed it for a long time. I think off-plan, just touching on off-plan, I think it's booming at the minute, isn't it? But there's been some really good notable launches.
Yeah.
For example, DIFC Heights.
Yeah, massive.
Launched last month. There's just such an undersupply of residential properties in DIFC.
Yeah.
I know, like you just said, there's so many launches and things are going up, but I think we've got 4 or 5 new residential properties going up in DIFC now, but it's still so underdeveloped.
What you think about it, it's prime location. I live there. Like, I lived in Damac Park Towers, which there was only a handful of towers you could live in. That that was the worst one.
Yeah,
but
cheapest that damn
was the cheapest. But if you look at it now, like, you've got H&H development. Like, we've got 3-4 sites. DIFC Living that you said, there was nowhere near enough.
DIFC Heights, Four Seasons.
But it's just a cool part of town, isn't it?
Yeah, really good, mate. Yeah, so no surprise the off-plan's booming. I think it did affect secondary slightly, as in it slowed a bit. I think that was natural, wasn't it? A lot of investment's gone into the off-plan recently.
What do you think, like, further down the line, like, especially if you think, considering last year, like I said before, 86% of the launches off-plan were apartments, 14% of them were villas and townhouses. What do you think about, like, I don't think it's I'm not going to even tell you my opinion, we'll talk about it in a minute, but the rental market moving forward, say like 3-4 years, when this supply does come to the market. So like DIFC that you just said there, it was underdeveloped. I agree with you in that. There wasn't enough residential units in DIFC. Likes of like JBC, where the majority of these launches have been, what sort of impact do you think it's going to have in terms of like rental prices, or do you think population?
Well, I think, obviously no expert, but you would imagine it would impact rental prices to go down. You would imagine, because we're going to have a lot more supply. But I don't know. I think maybe in primary areas like DIFC, where there's not enough there, full stop. I'm not sure it will impact that area.
We had the launch of Tellus as well, which was the first residential launch for the design district. I didn't realise at the time, it's ignorance of me, but that's a free zone as well.
Yeah.
So it's Marassa's development. If you look at the master plan for it, it looks absolutely first class. I just think in general, a lot of the launches at the minute, it's top quality stuff that they're offering, isn't it?
Yeah. Good locations, good products, really
it's just the payment plans are tough.
I think they can just be a bit more aggressive at the moment, can't they? Because there's that much demand.
Yeah,
which I agree. They are tough, aren't they? Quite a lot of them.
Yeah, I seen one there the other week for.
I can't afford them. You might be able to.
I certainly can't.
You sure?
Once you finish this flipping downtown, You'll be able to get one cash.
Come on.
But you are the downtown flipper, though.
No, don't be silly. Come on. Change the subject again. Let's talk about something else.
Luxury market, again, another record month for our private office. Charlie, good friend of yours, good friend of mine as well, but he obviously made the move, didn't he, from your team to focus purely on the luxury sector. I don't think that's never been spoken about on the podcast, but Charlie was in your team and he was concentrating on the DIFC in downtown. Yeah. But he had the conversation with you, didn't he, that he was going to focus on the luxury segment because he's seen what was happening.
I mean, that time was back when I was an agent, before I became a manager. Charlie was DIFC. Then he started making a move, and this was before the market was booming. This is like, it's good 5 years now.
He just seen it, didn't he? Just see
he seen an opportunity, good opportunity with Alberari he had. And he made that move into the more luxury sector, which obviously he's gone from strength to strength doing it.
He's broke to it, wasn't last month, hasn't he? Yep. So price per square foot and transaction price. So 227 million he did for the transaction value, and then the price per square foot was 6,500, 7,000 dirhams a square foot. He's just broke for a unit Alberari, and it was a lovely unit. Don't get us wrong, it was absolutely unbelievable, the house. Do you still think that's going to be strong? I mean, I can't see it slowing down.
It was like, people were asking that question last month, weren't they? And then Charlie went and sold that one for 107. And I know we've done a few other notable deals in the private office, but no, I don't think it's going to slow down, is it? It's just about the right units being on the market.
That's what it is. It's like, I'm not gonna say like where he's been selling a lot of the units recently, but Charlie's done about 5 or 6 transactions in a particular development. Till I seen the first deal that he did, again, showing ignorance. I didn't know about it, and I called him. I was like, "Where is that?" He's like, "It's this, isn't it?" And because he knows that market inside out now, as his team do. I mean, this is like a brand new luxury community I knew nothing about. And again, I'm not going to tout it in case people get onto it, but he's just, he can't see any sort of signs of it slowing down. It's the people that are coming over and businesses that are establishing as well. We always look at from our commercial department, like the types of companies that are coming here. That's an indicator, isn't it, in terms of like people continuing.
Got great hair though, hasn't he, Dan?
I'm jealous of his hair, yeah.
Charlie, yeah.
I am jealous of the hair.
But he doesn't get highlights either, apparently. But
no, mate, he'll be using like a lemon juice or something.
Lemon juice? No.
Little sun-in spray.
Yeah. I like to think.
I notice this when he has his summers abroad, he always comes back and it's...
He denies it, mate. Doesn't I like to think.
There was something I was going to mention to you there as well. What the private office? What private office? No, I think touch on it. Can't remember now. It's like, in terms of like... the luxury market, we know some of the clients have been doing deals, but for them, if they're looking to buy something based on what you're seeing, what is it that's important to them?
Finish, isn't it? It's just got, location. Oh, but saying that,
there's a thing like with that, with that latest one that Charlie,
I know,
sold.
I know, that was just an incredible villa, wasn't it? But nothing much else about it. That all comes down to product. How nice it was.
You didn't feel like you were in Dubai, were you, when you were there? It was like you were stepping into your own like retreat, basically. The greenery, the size of the plot, stream running through it.
Just all about it being high end, isn't it? Finished really well.
I think that's what it is. It's like, it's just, I think these people where you're looking at that end, they've just got the money to get what they want, haven't they? I don't think they're really going to look at it. Oh, you've bought that villa. Like take a £400 villa, for example. If someone's buying a garden home for like 25, 30, spending 5 on it, and they're going to put it back on the market for 45 and 50. I think a lot of these people who are after these properties are not going to look at it and think, hang on, you bought it for X, you've spent X on it, now you're trying to sell it to me for this. They just want the convenience of it being done and done to a top class finish.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they're prepared to pay it, aren't they? Like they are prepared to pay. What do you think is going to happen then for the rest of the year?
We're going to continue to make a lot of money, Dan.
You are. I'm not. You were the biggest sales team.
No, mate, I think it's just going to continue. I don't think anything's going to slow down. I think it's going to continue. I think we'll probably break a few more records.
Yeah, that's
without a doubt
definitely going to happen again. That 100%.
I can't see anything much changing really with the market this year.
So, if you were a buyer in the market at the minute, sitting on the fence, thinking that prices are too high, what message would you have, or what would you say?
You know what? The thing with the price being too high, that I think what we have got at the moment is a little bit of a standoff with owners where we're seeing upgraded units fetch a bit more of a premium price. Sellers are seeing the data, and they're thinking their unit's automatically worth
Yeah.
that amount. And that's where we're seeing a little bit of a sticking point. Yeah.
If you were buying the market at the minute, would
Yeah.
you prefer, I know we just talked about the luxury market, but would you prefer to buy a nicely upgraded unit, we'll stick to downtown, or would you prefer to buy something where it's bog standard and do the renovation yourself if the renovated unit's been done to a decent enough standard?
Me personally, I'd want to buy and renovate.
Do it yourself to your own taste.
That I think is down to the length of time I've been here. Yeah. If you were here a couple of years, would you really want that job on your hands, upgrading the property?
Probably not.
No.
I mean, I probably would because I could just finance the upgrades at that point. Don't need the cash to do it.
So I think it's circumstantial, isn't it? For someone coming into Dubai, you want a nice, new, upgraded, well apartment.
Yeah.
To move into, new straight away.
And that's the thing at that end of the market, we're talking about the luxury market.
Yeah.
These are people who are international.
And they're the people that want it, yeah.
They just want the finished product.
They don't want to be upgrading something for 6 months. No.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So the message from Steve Catharell is, if you're a buyer sat on the fence, don't speak to the Allsop mortgage team, get a mortgage and get out looking to buy. Oh. The thing as well, actually, final thing, the amount of people that we're doing deals with now where they were renting properties off us 2-3 years ago and they're now entering the market, because the rents, albeit they have stagnated a little bit recently, they've not come down significantly enough. A lot of the time it is a lot more affordable, isn't it, to buy somewhere? Your monthly payments are less, but also as well, if you consider prices on average gone up by 20-25% last year in prime areas, but it does that again this year. Even if your mortgage and your rental payments are on parity, you're going to benefit from the gains.
What do you think price done this year?
In terms of
increase,
I think it'll be
percentage.
I think it'll be somewhere between 5 and 10. I think between 5 and 10. I don't think it's going to be what happened last year, but then again, last year I don't think it would go up that amount anyway. Like, I bought my property back in 2022, and at the time I paid market price. Everyone goes on about now how I got a good deal. It was market price at the time. It's only looking back now, 3 years. Christ, that was a good deal, Dan. But at the time it wasn't. I just needed somewhere to live.
Yeah, I think the same, mate. I think we're going to see around. It's not going to be as aggressive as previous years, is it? But I think we're probably going to see around 5, 10.
But I was talking to Tom and your team. We always talk about like New York, London. You talk all these big headline cities in terms of what you can get for your money there versus Dubai, and everyone talks about Dubai being cheap. Forget all of those. Like, my mates were going on a golf holiday in Albufeira, Portugal, and I was looking at what you could get into, because I was flying in the plane and I seen this golf course. I was like, God, them villas look amazing. And they did. So I looked on Google Maps. Pathetic. I just love real estate, mate. I just love it. But
who were you spying on? Come on.
No. Like, I was looking at it and I was thinking,
no, come on, mate. You were spying.
I wasn't spying anybody.
Zooming in on that Google map.
But by all accounts now, like, they looked top class.
Neighbor,
but it's like Alan Shearer. All the footy players have got them. But point being, it's not a major city. It's just a popular place to be. And these villas, and we're not talking about 20 million dirhams. They're like 20-25 million euros for a golf course facing property. I always talk about like villas on golf courses. Yeah, there's not very many. And then you look at the prices that fetch and you think, oh God, they're top prices. But they're not really. If you look at
still not on that level.
Well, Emaar South, like I was just talking about there, like Golf Links just starting to hand over in the fairways in Emaar South. You can get an independent Emaar golf course facing unit there for 5.5, 6, 6.5. Like, sounds like a lot of money compared to where prices were at like 3-4 years ago. But if you're looking at now, like the equivalent prices in Dubai Hills Estate or Jumeirah Golf Estate, like they're pretty decent value for money. And in terms of Dubai, it's all shifting towards Jebel Ali. Like, that's where the new airport's going. It's like someone always said to me, like, look at the main infrastructure, what's getting built. If you want to look at a good investment, look at where the major infrastructure is getting built. And that end of Dubai, like Dubai South, all of that Jebel Ali district, that's where the major investment's going. So it's good value for money down there.
Is, mate. So what you're telling me is you've got 20 million euros to spend at the moment?
No, I haven't. I'm saying
that what you're looking
compared to, like, when you start comparing like Dubai to like New York, London. Yeah, these are like major cities. Yeah. You don't have to look at that. Like, I was just using Albufeira, Portugal there as an example. flying at Neil Farrer Airport, just take a little look down when you're on your Ryanair flight. Didn't pay for pay for a carry-on bag, not for a checked-in bag. Just have a look out the window. Some lovely villas.
Unbelievable, you have you?
Yes, every pound spent is a pound you're never going to get back.
Washing your clothes when you were there.
Just take enough. I just take enough.
Just take enough, mate. Yeah.
Thing is, I've not got like wear it once bits like the LP range that you've got. I've just got the H&M t-shirts.
I got all my stuff flown in. Don't I?
You've probably got a contact there. Like, look, I'm looking.
I've got a contact who flies them in.
What's a warning away? Well, look, thanks so much for your time, mate.
No problem, mate.
Thanks for the podcast. As always, if you just follow us on socials, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks again.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.